All right, let's get into the Bible supposedly going to be taught in Texas and Oklahoma and being added to the curriculum, because this is a two-edged sword, and the church teaches it as literal. The more fundamental the church is, the more literal the church is. But basically all the churches believe that Adam and Eve really walked the earth. They believe that Noah's flood, that there was a flood upon the earth. They believe that dead are going to rise, that the Lord on a white horse is going to be coming in the clouds. They believe all this stuff. They're taking everything as literal, okay? So as they're taking everything as literal, the Bible tells you that it's an allegory. And it tells you not to worship the letter, that the letter divides. So the church is teaching it this way. The textbooks and schools, that's when they can start actually coming in and teaching the allegorical and metaphorical form of the Bible. And this is where the school system would actually be teaching a truth, but the people are given over to the lie. So no matter what truth you give these people, the Israel people, the Israel, the ones who believe everything on this screen, they're the ones who are being formed after that image and being taken into the garden, and the ones who are the dead who's going to rise first, okay? So, as the school can come in and start teaching the other edge of the sword, then that's where you'd see a divide in that spectrum. And then those who kill by the sword must be killed with the sword, and those things. But this can be a bait and switch that we see going on. And we could also see where you see some states where they'll teach the Bible the literal way, or you'll see another state teach it in the allegorical way. But the Bible is a spiritual book that transcends time. So since it's a spiritual book, it tells you this when it says it's an allegory, because it's saying something without saying it. So the Adam connects us to the earth, connects us to the masculine. The Eve connects us to the spirit, connects us to the heavens. And this is where she was the one who had access to the tree of knowledge and these types of things, and Adam didn't. So this is where he saw certain knowledge, and he's like, hey, I'm being controlled here. They're telling me this, that, and the other about this nation, or it's the Truman Show. Everybody in America lives in that so-called Truman Show, and we're that so-called Israel nation, that Israel nation, where the image that's been given life has come to mark the so-called right hand. And it's given to you by the king, and it's given to you by the Word of God, the Bible, the Bible, the bell, ding, ding, ding. Your order's up. So, going forward and such, we're seeing a capture of the old and a foundation of the new. And this is where it's going to get confusing for people, because Don is showing two lights right now. And as he's going to do this circle fashion, went straight out of the gate, setting up the reform, the reform, that light, and then he went to the left, the Democrat, the demons, and then he went to the Republicans, the ray of light, okay, and then he's going back to the so-called demons, the dark side, and this is when dark MAGA and all these things show the force and whatever else. But so real quick on the years coming forward, because I see them trying to replay 2016, 2017 in one way. And this can be tied to where Trump comes in as president, and he comes in as that dictator, and he comes to make America healthy again. And as he makes America healthy again, all these people's vices and such are bringing them down. So the 47, the L even, the L for the God of the Hebrews, and the Hebrews for the intoxication and all those things that's going on in Babylon, because we got shots and shooters and all kinds of things going on in the bar scene for that T-rum. All right, the Trump's it sounded a long time ago, folks. Did you hear it? I don't think so. So as Trump comes in and connects the 1948 to the 48th presidency and the 48th year of Elvis being dead and all these things, this is where the dark dawn starts to shine his light. And he's already told you he's become a dictator, and he's created the so-called Dogi, the e-god, that is going to be over the government, the feds or whatever. So they'll be coming in and taking this, that, and the other out. So this is where make America healthy again, and all these people or corporations are paying off the so-called agencies, and there's different loopholes or whatever to where they can just put whatever they want out on the shelves. Okay, so this is where you've had to read and go into deep dive and do your research and all these other things. Either way, folks, so the things, if they do a 2016, 2017 flip, all right, and I've been telling you these time gaps and these timestamps are for 22 and 23 and the repeat of these years and the flip-flops or whatever, right? So they want to make the so-called real prophets seem crazy or wrong or whatever, to where they're not going to be right till after. Okay, so this is where I'm going to come in and tell y'all that can be a flip on this reality and this script, to where Don comes in, he plays the dictator, he exposes his light as that so-called Antichrist figure. Vivek is that Antichrist figure. The Indian-bred J.D. Vance is that Antichrist figure. And Elon Musk is the Antichrist figure. They have all these so-called Antichrist figures being released as the kings come and set up a new candlelight for the new heaven and earth. Okay? And this is when your so-called prophets would be going against the church, and you're giving your last year of warning and all these other things. Okay? Because eventually the algorithm or these windows or whatever are going to open, but it cannot open too early. This is the early set is only for gathering of the elect. Okay, the people are not given over to the delusion, so they can carry on and follow and such and rise above and see what's actually going on and learn from the lampstands, the people. Okay, but they want to give you the information rather than and make you feel like you got it all, rather than making you feel like you need to seek it. And then they have these so-called Joe Rogans or Alex Jones or whatever that are CIA operatives or been bought off, basically. But they're here to lead you down into that ray of light. Okay? And so this is where the dawn comes in as the dark light. Everything's already been marked in the right hand or whatever, and then he starts doing him, and the Moses and these things come in and start doing the divide on the Red Sea and that such. Okay, so that'd be where the Red Sea, like the Republican Sea and those things, but ties into the blood that's going to be shed, the red dawn, all those little different things. Either way, and the red heifer, the red heifer. The 48 to the 48 to the 48. All right, that's the second day. the seconds for your Last Supper. And all this is going with the birth and Jesus walking or whatever, because all these births are going on in different settings. But as it finally cracks, that's when like the man-child comes forth in everyone, like in a literal sense, to where they have to go this way or that way. And the way it's being set up or whatever is to where that's where you can see the Bible being portrayed in these states or whatever. That it's a bait and switch, because at first they'll say, oh, well, you're going to the Bible, and then you get down there and they're teaching the Bible in a whole nother way that goes against the church. Okay? But they start teaching it the way it's actually meant to be taught, because the Bible is giving you by the government. It's being taught to you by the pastors who've been parroted by the ones who gave you the book. So they're telling you it's a two-edged sword. They gave it to you the first form to bring you into bond. Now they're going to bring you into freedom, because we're going into a new age of man. And people need to know that book as far as the allegorical form, the one that transcends time, that is before you right now. Okay? So, as the old heaven, that pinnacle, is being gathered up, and that's why Bitcoin is up near the win on the double crown for the 100K. All right, all that's going to come crashing down. So 25 is a 77 year, and then he's turning 48 years dead this year, and you got the 48 for the next presidency and all these other things. And this is also where we could see Kamala come in and do her power grab, or Joe come in and do her power grab, and then that takes us into the 48 years dead for next fall and next Christmas and next things, because these things that we've been seeing the past few years are stacking for 2025 and 2024 and such, because the serpent year is 2025, and that serpent comes out of that box that's all been wrapped up and rewrapped and open and all those other things. Okay, the serpent was there, the box was open. He read you the poem, he went back into the box. It's being closed back up. It's going to come back and... Okay, so y'all are all being closed into that box. And then you may get your Christmas early or whatever. But either way, all these things we're seeing stacked up to where the light is going out on America. And you have limited time to do what y'all need to do as far as getting out of that so-called 80-20 rule. Because the 80-20 rule is coming to America, and is going to flip-flop, and it's going to make America healthy again. And your king size and all those things, that chess game is done. All right, that test is done. The hospital and shit, all these chemical tests or whatever that people been a guinea pig for, it's all done. It's all done. And the dawn is coming in to take in that last bit of light of that last age, and we're starting a new age. Okay?